Hello, welcome to my channel, A Blessed Budget. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified that I am budgeting. Before I get started, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to budget with me and support me during this financial journey as I navigate through how to make my money stretch through the month. And to all of my viewers, I hope after this video, you will consider subscribing.
Vibes on vibes, I'm a ticking dynamite. I blow your candle light. You know I'm just that type. No, them no fit kill my vibe. Them no fit kill my vibe. No fit kill, them no fit kill. Them no fit kill my eyes are set. Follow the stars, yeah you shall find her. It's a bad vibe. If you hit your enemies shine. If you're not a friend of me, enter the light. Cause you can never kill my vibe. But there is no sacrifices.
Okay, so we are now looking at our September calendar spread, and this is the theme for September. It's a purple theme. I got this because September used to be the month that we started school, so I got the school books like up here. That's just what this spread reminded me of, so that's why I'm using it in September. So, and then it's purple, so I kind of matched purple, you know, with the theme of the stickers. So we are now looking at September's budget calendar, and we have our usual bills on our calendar. The only thing that we did add is our Mint Mobile, and that's due every 3 months. So it is September, and that is due on the 10th. And I did remind myself to put Weight Watchers down, and that's due on the 25th. And everything else is pretty much the same as far as rent goes, life insurance, YouTube TV. I do have to pay my Discover bill. I do have to pay my tithes. OnStar, Apple Care for my iPad and for my watch. The water cooler rental that we're paying for. Apple Storage. I do have a Klarna that's due on the 5th. Netflix, the internet is due on the 7th. So like I said, just normal bills. Nothing too much going on as far as activities or events. I do have a Holy Warriors class I have to go to on the 15th at 9 o'clock in the morning. So other than that, we are just kind of with bills only on our spread for the calendar. So now that you guys have had a look at our calendar spread, we're now just going to go ahead and jump in to the paycheck budget tracker for September. So we are in a new month of the year, and the year is almost over. We have October, November, and December. We only have 3 more months left, and the year is over for us. And I don't know what 2025 has in store for us, but I heard there's a lot of stuff about to be happening around the world, and I just want to be prepared as much as possible. So now we have our September budget tracker. We're going to now go ahead and fill this out. So for this paycheck budget tracker, this one is going to be running from September 1st all the way through September 7th. That's 1 week. I budget each week, every week, just to stay on top of our bills. I don't know why I put this sticker right here. So we are budgeting for week number 1. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and write in the sources of income I do plan to receive for the first week of September. So I am budgeting source number 1. I am budgeting source number 4. I am budgeting rollover from last month in account number 1 and in account number 2. And I am budgeting emergency money to come in as well. So for source number one, I am budgeting $300 to come in. For source number four, I am budgeting $530. For rollover number one, I am budgeting $56.89. And for rollover number two, I am budgeting $39.34. And for my emergency, I am planning to bring in $1,000. The reason why I'm bringing money in from my emergency is because I am going to be short on bills this week. So that's what my emergency money is for, just in case if I don't have enough to cover my bills and expenses. So that's the reason why my emergency is being used this week. I am planning to put this money back this month when more income comes in. But right now we do need to take from that emergency because our bills are due until more income comes in. Okay, so that's all that I am budgeting to receive for the first week of September. So what I am going to do is just go ahead and calculate our inflow for the first week of September. Okay, so as you all can see, we did get a inflow total of $1,926.23. If I did not bring in this emergency money, I wouldn't have enough to cover all my bills for the first week and my variable expenses. So, yeah. Okay, so for the fixed expenses, what I am going to do, since there is a lot of fixed expenses that's due, I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward this part, write in all the fixed expenses that's due and the account each bill is coming out of, and you know the rest.
Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down, baby. We took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town, baby.
Okay, so as you all can see, like I said, we do have a lot of bills due this month. Well, not this month, well, we do have a lot of bills due, but within this week number one. So that's why I said in the beginning I have to bring in emergency money because I wouldn't have enough to cover all the bills for this 1 week and the variable expenses that's due this week. And so now we're going to go ahead and get started with the budget. So for the rent, I am budgeting my portion only at $169. For life insurance, I am budgeting $31.31. For YouTube TV, I am budgeting $72.99. My OnStar for my vehicle, I am budgeting $31.99. Apple Care for my iPad, I am budgeting $3.49. Apple Care for my watch, I am budgeting $3.99. The Way, I am budgeting $30. Netflix, I am budgeting $6.99. For the internet, I am budgeting $52. For Discover, I am budgeting $104.72. This is the balance of this card. For Klarna, I am budgeting $24.85. The water, I am budgeting $6.99. This is for a water cooler that I am renting through Sparklet. I do need to purchase my own water cooler, and I have seen them at Walmart for like $200 something. So I am probably going to be buying me a water cooler, but I am going to need like the bottles that come with the cooler, you know, to fill up for water. So we're going to be shopping for that probably within the next couple of weeks. And then because once I get my own water cooler, I wouldn't have to pay a rental fee to use Sparklets. So that would be one bill less. So for Apple storage this week, I am budgeting $2.99. Okay, so now that I have written in all the bills that's due within the first week of September, I am now just going to go ahead and add up all of the bills, fixed expenses, and get our fixed expense total. Okay, so as you all can see, when I did add up all our fixed expenses, it gave us a fixed expense total of $541.31. And like I say, I do put these numbers into my Excel sheet first, and that's how I come up with what I can and cannot do, because I'll see the math before I write it down permanently. So I kind of play with the numbers and see how much I'm going to need or put away, things like that, before I actually come sit down with you guys and explain what I am able to do. So now that I know that our fixed expenses equal $541.31, that's just for the first week of September. I'm just going to now go ahead and look at this $1,926.23. And I'm just going to subtract that $541.31. That gives us a leftover of $1,384.92. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and bring that leftover down here to our variable expenses for week one. That's $1,384.92. So what I am going to do right now is just write in all of our variable expenses that we have each week and see what we can do for the week. So does household food out me or son? Okay, so as you all can see, we went ahead and wrote in all of our variable expenses that we have for week number one. These are kind of just like set in stone. Unless I'm using savings for a specific thing. I'm using my emergency for bills and variable expenses, so I won't write in savings spent because I'm using that within the budget. I'm not actually using it for something else. I hope you guys understand that part. Okay, so for gas this week, I am budgeting $60. The kids are off from school on the 2nd, so they have a 3-day weekend. I also have a 3-day weekend as well. For household this week, we're going to budget $0 because we just went household shopping last week. As you guys can see, I was over budget last week for household products, so we already stocked up on household products for the remaining of the week. So we probably won't need nothing until the middle of the month. For food out this week, I'm just going to go ahead and budget $15. We are kind of on a tight pinch with our money. So like I said, I usually budget $30 each week, but I'm just going to cut it in half because we're on a tight budget. So I'm only allowing myself $15. For me, I don't need anything this week. I'm not for sure if my daughter needs anything this week. When that happens, we'll go ahead and see what we can do. My son, he doesn't need anything this week. For miscellaneous, I usually budget $30, but I'm just going to cut it in half to $15, just because, like I said, the budget is iffy right now. And then for groceries, I'm just going to budget our regular $80 for the week. Okay, so now that we have all that established with our variable expenses, I'm now going to go ahead and just add up everything. So that's 60 plus 15 plus 15 plus 80. Okay, so that do give us a variable expense total of $170. So I am taking my $1,384.92 and I am going to subtract 170 That gives us a leftover of $1,214.92 for variable. I mean for leftover. So with the sinking funds this week, I am going to skip them because I am bringing in such a large amount of emergency money in. I don't feel comfortable putting something away when I'm taking that much money out to pay bills. So when my other income comes in later on during the month, I'm just going to go ahead and do my sinking funds then. So I am confident and I know that there's more income coming in. It's going to come in later on this month. So I'm going to skip my sinking funds until that income comes in. Then I'll be able to do my sinking funds. So we are skipping sinking funds this week. And we will catch up with them later on this month. So I am going to just bring that $1,214.92 over here to our extra savings. So what we have is account number 1. We're rolling money over for bills next week. And I have account number 2. We're going to be rolling over money from that account as well. So like I stated in previous videos, I just take account number 1's income and subtract whatever bills are coming out of that account, and I'll write that here. So for example, I know that this money, $530, is sitting in account number 1, and I know that we rolled over $56.89 in account number 1. So I know altogether in account number 1 we have $586.89. I know for sure that these two bills are the only bills that's coming out of account number 1 because no variable expenses come out of account number 1. So I know that I can subtract the $169, and I know I can subtract the $31.31. So I am for sure that in account number 1 we are going to be rolling over $386.58. And so what I'm going to do is just take the leftover $1,214.92, and I'm just going to subtract what we're rolling over from account number 1 because I do budget out of 2 separate accounts. So I'm just going to subtract the $386.58. That leaves us a leftover of $828.34. And account number 2, the majority of my bills and business and variable expenses come out of account number 2. Account number 1 is account number 1. If certain things come out of that account, certain business get handled with that account as well. So altogether, we are rolling over $1,214.92, and that gives us 0 left over. This is a zero-based budget. This doesn't mean I have nothing left over. I do have something left over, but it's being used to help us pay for next week's expenses. So I know how much we will have to start next week. So this is a look at September's paycheck budget tracker for week number 1. I would like to thank you all so much for joining me today in this budget with me. And until next time, you guys take care. Bye-bye.
Everything was taken, you had to make it. Vibe killer, me I no go take shit.